promised that I'd give you a survival guide for the holidays, for Thanksgiving especially. So let's talk about that. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lizabeth and I am living in the light by documenting my weight loss journey using Optavia's 5-in-1 program. Now, it doesn't matter what weight loss program you're on, whether you are following Weight Watchers or Whole30 or keto, no matter what you're doing, the fact that you are on a program means that you may encounter some difficulties when it comes to holidays. Before I give you all of my tips and tricks for Thanksgiving and holidays, let me invite you to like the video and to subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate the support, and that just lets YouTube know that this is the kind of content that you want to see, so it'll show up more on your feed. The first tip that I have for you in surviving Thanksgiving is to please plan ahead. Put some thought into it. Don't wait until Thanksgiving Day to realize that you should have thought about what is going to happen that day and then end up making bad decisions because you didn't think or plan ahead. First of all, remember your why. We say that a lot. Remember the reason why you made this choice to go on this weight loss journey. Keep those things in your forefront. It's a really good idea to write those things down, to keep them in front of you all the time so that you're constantly remembering why you've chosen to lose weight in the first place. Remember that Thanksgiving is just one day. It is one day. It is not a lifetime. It is not a week. It is not a month. It is just one day. How do you want to celebrate that day? And make that decision based on where you want to be. How do you want to feel tomorrow morning or the next morning when you wake up? How do you want to feel about yourself? How do you want to feel about your successes? And make your decisions based on that. You kind of have two choices. Your first choice is to decide it's just one day, because it is one day. And so what I do that day doesn't really matter in the long run. So, okay, you can make that choice. If that is your decision, then you need to stand by that decision and be confident and not beat yourself up because you chose that. Do remember, for those of you who are on the Optavia 5-in-1 program, if you do decide that you're going to indulge, that you're going to go off plan for that day, know that you could possibly eat enough or eat things that could throw you out of fat burn, which means you might have to have a few days of resetting before you get back into really losing weight really well. The other thing is that a lot of times when we've eliminated a lot of foods from our diet and then we add those back in, our body can have a lot of negative reactions to those. So you may end up not feeling so great, both physically and emotionally as well. If that is the choice that you make, then you should stand by it. However, plan for it. So really think about, if you're going to indulge and you decide that part of Thanksgiving that's really important to you is the pumpkin pie. And so you need to decide, are you going to have one bite of pie? Are you going to have a whole slice of pie? Or are you going to have an entire pie? But make the choice, make the plan, decide ahead of time what you're going to do, and then stand by that decision, that plan. So if you plan, I'm just going to have 3 bites and then I'm going to be done, serve yourself 3 bites, or cut, take that piece of pie that's served to you, cut off the part that you want and move the rest of the food away onto another plate or somewhere else so that you're not tempted to continue eating beyond the choice that you made. The other option is to say, it's just one day, I can stick to this plan. And it is entirely possible to stick with the plan, even on a holiday, if you take the time to really think about what you're going to be eating that day. If you have that plan in place, then you're more likely to be successful and to stay on plan. So let's talk about how you would plan for the day. Know that you can't eliminate food from your life. We have to eat. It is a necessary part of survival. You need to eat. And one of the things that works really well about the Optavia program is that you are eating 6 times a day. And that helps your body to burn at its optimum rate. So think about your fuelings for the day. Think about what you are going to be eating and put some thought, knowing this is about the time that I'm going to eat and about what is going to be happening throughout the day. So, when you get to wherever you're having Thanksgiving, whether it's home or you're at somebody else's home, if you are going to be sitting around chit-chatting for a while, plan for the hot chocolate or the frothy cappuccino or one of the little crunchers. If that is, people are going to be sitting around munching on appetizers, have that as your fueling then. But put some thought into what you're going to have and the timing. Plan your sweet fueling to occur around dessert time when everybody is eating dessert. Most of the time with Thanksgiving, you eat your big meal and then nobody eats dessert for a while. So you can have your lean and green meal and know that a few hours after that, 2 hours or so, you're going to have your dessert. Plan ahead to have your brownie, to have your golden butterscotch blondie. That one's really good. Chocolate chip cookie, chocolate pudding with a little squirt of whipped cream. That would be totally fine. Another thing that I read the other day is, we don't typically include a fueling with a lean and green. But for one day, if you want to make your mashed potato fueling or you want to make your sweet potato fueling and have that along with your lean and green, for one day, that's not going to kill you to do that. And then you've stuck to the plan and you didn't have the sweet potatoes with all the marshmallows and all that on top of it, or the mashed potatoes with all the butter and cream in it. You had mashed potatoes, but you had one that fit on the plan. So try to have those plans in place ahead of time so that you are able to stick to plan as much as you possibly can and feel good about the choices that you've made. Another little thing that I have done lately, and I pretty much do it all the time now, is I make the mashed potato fuelings into soup, which would be a great kind of appetizer thing that you might have while people are sitting around chit-chatting. And that is just the mashed potato fueling with a whole cup of hot water. And I just whisk it super well. I use my little frother and make sure that it gets whisked really well. I do it in my iron flask thermos, and I seal it up and I let it sit for a while. Sometimes up to a couple of hours. It's still nice and warm and hot in there. But that makes the best potato soup. The next thing is to make sure that if you're going somewhere to eat, that you're bringing something with you that you can eat. So if you are bringing a side dish, try to make something that would work into a lean and green as a side dish, or make a side dish for everybody else and then bring something for yourself. Psychology Today did a study at one point that talked about how the first bite is the best bite. It is the best tasting to you. Your body responds the most to that very first bite. And every bite after that, your enjoyment of that food diminishes, right? So 3 bites is a great rule to go by. All you need are 3 bites to really enjoy something. So my plan is to make at least 3 side dishes that I can eat. And instead of having a whole serving, which might count as 3 greens, I'm just going to have a half or a third of a serving, which will consist of probably 3 bites if I make that amount. And I can have 3 dishes that each have 1 green in them, or 4 dishes. I'm just going to try to arrange my portions so that they total 3 greens, and it may just be a few bites of this and a few bites of that. So have a half of something, have a half of a green here and a half of a green there to make up 1 whole green, and enjoy a variety of foods, because that's one of the best things about Thanksgiving, is having a great variety of different dishes. The next thing I want to encourage you with is that you prepare to share. Prepare for people to ask you questions. Prepare for people to wonder why you are not having the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and the gravy, but be positive in your responses. You made a great decision for yourself. You have an incredible opportunity to share with other people your successes. And if you approach it in a positive way, your friends are going to approach it in a positive way as well. I was just listening to my friend Sierra on her Facebook Live earlier today. And one of the things that she talked about was the fear that we have that people are they're not going to understand us. They're going to have questions, and we might fear that they are going to be negative. But honestly, I don't know that. I think that's just a fear that we have in ourselves that really would not be a reality if we would actually talk to people and share. You know, the title of my YouTube channel is Living in the Light. We need to live in the light. We need to be able to be comfortable with ourselves to say, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it, and be confident with the choice that you've made because you're doing it for you. And that's so exciting and something that you should be so proud of. I hope that you will take the holiday as an opportunity to just really shine and be proud of your progress. Look back at where you've been. If you've been on a weight loss journey for a week or a month or 6 months or a year, look back at your progress. Look at your successes and be proud of that. Hold on to that. Focus on those successes that you've had and how wonderful you are feeling about yourself with every single ounce that melts away. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is that you remember to fuel yourself. I said earlier, we can't eliminate food. We have to have food. So remember to eat your fuelings. Don't skip things. Prepare fuelings ahead of time so that they're just in baggies and you can grab them. Get a thermos and use that for things like the mashed potato fuelings. Make your cookie or your brownie ahead of time and have that in a baggie ready to go. The other thing is keep up with your water. So drinking water is so, so important. The more hydrated your body is, the better it can function. So make sure that you are remembering to drink your water. And a really great tip is to hold your water bottle in your dominant hand, and that will keep you from grazing. So, you know, I'm right-handed. I'm going to keep that water bottle as much as I can in my right hand so that I'm not tempted to use my hand to pick up snacky things off of a tray. All right. Now, speaking of snacks, do allow yourself to have a little snack here and there. So there are great things to bring are like a shrimp tray. Having a couple of shrimp with a little bit of cocktail sauce is not going to throw you out of fat burn. You can deduct it from your lean and have a little less than 6 ounces of turkey with your dinner, and that's fine. But plan for that. Have those crunchers with you. Bring one of the little Optavia snacks, the little bag of popcorn or something. I love those little bags of popcorn. The puff snacks are great, but there's only like 5 pieces in there. The popcorn bags are fuller and really make you feel like you're having a snack. So every once in a while, I do have one of those hungry days where I need to have a snack. And so I have some of those on hand, and bringing one of those with you as part of your plan for the day is a great way to stretch the time between fuelings or just to help for your hands to be busy during times of just sitting and having conversations with family. Whatever you do on Thanksgiving, do 2 things for me. Number 1, be kind to yourself. It is just one day. And if you happen to slip up, if you happen to eat an entire pumpkin pie, be kind to yourself. It's not the end of the world, and you will get right back on program the next day and you will be fine. And just be kind. Don't beat yourself up, because that's not going to be helpful in your weight loss program. And last, be thankful. It is a day of Thanksgiving. You have a lot to be grateful for. So focus on the things that you have, the blessings that you have in your life. I hope that your Thanksgiving is filled with joyful memories, that it is filled with laughter and family and friends and so much fun. And know that it is so much more than food. It is about those family and friends that we have around us that we can be grateful for every day. Until I see you next time, please live in the light.